Do you know what time it is? It's prime time. The official commissioner podcast of the Sim Madden League. Buckle up because it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be fire. Now, without further ado, here is SML legend Prime Time 000.
Hello and welcome back to SML Podcast. This is SML The Sit Down, episode 2, and today we have, it's the Fazz or it's the Fazz? Maybe that's the question we should ask first.
Technically it's the Fazz. Everybody says Fazz, so just roll with Fazz.
So there you go.
Whatever comes naturally.
So what's the and we're gonna do some nice little underhand pitches to you, let you get your confidence up. Then we're gonna rip you down.
Sounds good.
So what's the story behind your PSN? I think to me, I know this question, but I gotta ask this.
It's mostly just I've had like a billion different versions of nicknames growing up. Mm-hmm. One of my hockey teams, one of the coaches just always did it's the Fonz. I think it's from a show from forever ago. I never saw it, but he went with that. But then everybody started calling me Fazz instead, so it just turned into It's the Fazz.
Oh, nice. And when did you start playing Madden then?
I've had Madden games like my whole life. I think my first one was like Madden 2001 with like Eddie George on the cover. But that was more just like you have them, you play with your brothers, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't start getting into leagues until probably like Madden 15 or 16, but I was still playing junior hockey, so I never had time and couldn't schedule games.
Yeah.
So the first league I played in seriously was Dan's in Madden 17,
nice.
SBS at the time.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
28. So you got into Madden probably in your early 20s, roughly.
Yeah.
Yep. So did you play MUT at all ever, or have you just been strictly a franchise guy?
Strictly franchise. I always liked the concept of MUT. I like the team building. I think that's cool. But like you play one game and somebody runs one play the whole time, and then as soon as you learn how to stop it, they quit, and it's not fun.
Yeah. And it sounds like you're an NHL guy. You like hockey and all that. Are you better hockey guy than Madden?
Definitely better hockey guy than Madden, for sure.
Oh, really? So you're elite.
Yeah.
You're an elite hockey player.
NHL is like all that I played for a while. Especially when I was playing juniors, it was like literally I played NHL during the day, then I'd go to practice or games, and like that was it. It was just junior hockey and NHL. That was my life.
Do they have fights in those games?
They do.
Do you avoid those fights?
I'll jump in there. I'll mix it up, but
okay.
I prefer scoring.
Okay. So how'd you find the SML?
Strictly word of mouth from Dan. Last year I had a lot of time for Madden. So I was, jumping in and out of leagues, trying to find like a consistent second one, could never find anything that really stuck. And then at the end of the cycle, Dan told me that, SML was awesome. He was telling me cool things. He sent me a couple of the podcasts. He sent me a Super Bowl stream. Nice. So I finished out the cycle in Primer, and then got the call up on team draft day this season.
I think I remember that actually. Definitely interesting. How much time a week do you put into Madden or the SML, would you say?
It's mostly just league games. I don't lab too often. I'll jump into practice mode here and there if I have some time, like before work, because obviously I go in at weird times. Yeah. So if it's like 10:15 and I'm not leaving until 10:45, maybe I'll jump into practice for a little bit and throw around, but it's mostly just league games.
So you're in 2 leagues then?
Yeah. Well, I left the one once it got, I'm stayed in Dan's league. So Sim era. Yes. Yeah. And then that one got a little toxic, and they switched to fantasy draft, and I played like 3 games and said, this isn't for me.
Yes. So
now it's just SML.
So is Madden your number one hobby then, or what do you do? I know you mentioned hockey, and I think you might be in some rec football or something. What do you do in your spare time?
It's pretty much all sports. I play in a ball hockey league. I play in a flag football league. I play in a softball league. Wow. Pick up stuff on the side. It's pretty much just sports, and then I go to movies pretty often. So.
Wow. Are you? This is a fan question. Are you on drugs?
No, I'm not on drugs.
Okay.
Never touched them.
You never. Okay, that was my next question. Where are you? Okay, so that's good. So there's a lot of talk of your interest and Madden that maybe it wanes, and we hear of this softball and this baseball and juggling you do and all this stuff. Do you believe that your interest isn't quite where it should be?
It's taken a bit of a hit with this game just because like this is the first Madden in a while that I like truly just don't like.
Yeah.
But I still like it enough that like I wouldn't leave the league. Like I still, I'm gonna play all my games. Like the only time I'm gonna miss is if I'm on like vacation,
Yeah.
which has happened.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, it's definitely not like I don't like this Madden quite as much as other ones. But it's the interest is still high. Like I'm not going anywhere.
So I guess this could be a segue, depending. If you were SML commish for a day, what's one rule change you'd make?
I'm sure that that's somewhat baited towards the advances, but it's actually not that. I would change the trade rules.
As I know.
That's the first thing I would switch. Yeah, yep. I would give teams a little bit more freedom. I'd probably loosen the restrictions up a little bit. To me, like we have the primer, so like
yeah,
technically, hypothetically, that should be weeding out like the real dummies that would come in and truly blow up a team.
Yes.
So I don't think you quite have to worry about that as much. Yes. Like I think most guys in here kind of know what they're doing.
Yes, except for Tiny and a few others.
I was gonna say Tiny works too.
Yes. You win a lot of games in the SML. Are you the best player?
Am I the best player? I mean, I totally definitely want to say yes. I don't know if I can give myself best player because I don't think I prepare like the best player. Which I think dings me. I don't go into games with game plans. Yes. Outside of like, I want to do what I want. That's kind of my game plan. And then maybe I'll tweak it in like the second quarter. But like, I'm not watching tape. I'm not doing any of that. So I think that would hold me back from being like the best player.
What's your opinion on the tape watching? Because there's some controversy with Bomber does it, Pauly does it, and Dan does it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, more power to you. It's if the goal is to win, that's going to help you win. Especially in a game like Madden where like you see the formation, generally you can pretty much tell what somebody's going to run. Like, I mean, I play in Fig's division. I know if he picks Snug's flip, he's running the little touch jet sweep pass thing. Like, I just know it.
Yeah.
So like it definitely helps. And it helps the thing to win. I don't do it just because I generally just don't put the time into it. And then I found that it kind of hurts me in a way. Because I'll spend too much time looking for certain things instead of just playing the game. Kind of takes me off my rhythm. Yeah. But I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, no, that's good. And one guy that does watch a lot of tape is Dan. Dan, I know when you joined the league, there was a lot of talk of him being like this sensei, like Master Splinter, and you being like a young Ninja Turtle. Well, what's that relationship like?
He's definitely, I mean, when I joined SBS in Madden 17, it was just strictly like I played Madden and thought the game was fun. Like I knew nothing of competitive Madden. Like I was using D-line. So him and KP, I doubt he'll ever see this, but KP was another one that like I kind of started to learn from them, just like picking their brains, asking them questions, figuring out what they're doing. And that's where I started to figure out like the strategy of Madden, and understanding different things, what beats what, how you want to match up against stuff. I didn't know any of that. I just started playing because football is fun. So, he definitely taught me like 90% of what I know in Madden.
So you play Dan in the Super Bowl and there's a lot of hype and you're up like 2 or 3 scores and you freaking collapse hard. What's going through your mind in the game and kind of afterward? How does that game rank as one of your toughest losses in your career, or does it, or was it pretty easy to get over?
I think the worst loss of my career came in SBS. It was my first Super Bowl. I'm playing as the Jags, and I got the guy's driving. I'm up 4. It's last possession of the game. He throws like a comeback route that I had AJ Boye. This was like the good Jags secondary year, and he like breaks on the route and gets like the pick animation, but the ball like goes through his hands, and I don't get the pick, and he scores in the next play, and I lose. And I think that was my most heartbreaking loss.
Yes.
But that one was up there, mostly just because it was kind of fun to have that narrative that Dan couldn't win the big one, and it was kind of cool that I could keep him from that.
Yeah. Yes.
But I mean, it was a good game. It was well fought. He played super well, obviously. Would I have run the ball in hindsight? Sure, but the pass offense was working, so I figured he knew that I would come out and try and run, so I figured I'd go reverse psychology and stick with what was working, and then Von Miller ended my soul.
What'd you think about? There was some blowback. SML is known for backseat drivers or Monday morning QBs. Everybody does it. What was there was a lot of people. I know Paulie was critical of you. I mean, there's a lot of guys that were taking their shots. What kind of went through your mind as these people were taking pot shots?
Yeah, I mean, I was, the poor unathletic kid on the volleyball team getting spiked on in the front row. But, hey, that's part of the fun. That's why I like this league. Everybody cares. Everybody watches the games. There's always going to be backseat driving. That's sports. That happens, at Wednesday night softball.
Yeah.
So, to me, that's part of the fun. That's why we're here.
And you were, up until that game changed. I feel that game changed the way the SML viewed you, because you came in, you were this like spunky little, it's Fazz or it's Fazz, and he's the next big thing and the messiah of the SML. That game changed the way everybody viewed you, the way Paulie presented you. You were his crown jewel, and then he threw you away like a nasty McDonald's McDouble.
Near immediately.
What immediately? Yeah. How did it feel to be like this rising star and then to just fall to just to nothing that quickly?
I mean, all the best stories have a comeback, so we'll take the fall from grace, and it'll set us up for great things later.
Yes. No, that's good. So now I'm going to ask a few fan questions, and this is from a fan, so I'm going to say, do you truly feel like Thanos and the Thanos Club, even though you continue to lose in the playoffs?
Oh, man. Dang. I mean, thankfully, the one thing I got going for me is that nobody else in the Thanos Club has really won in the playoffs either. So I'm definitely still the most accomplished. You could argue that part of the reason for that is that Clink's in there and he still can't figure out what team he's supposed to throw to. But I will say that still the most accomplished. Hopefully QP doesn't win one before me, because then there might be an issue.
Oh, that's funny.
I might be out here snapping him away. Real quick.
Yes. Let's see if he dissolves. So here's another fan question. Some have called Meats the folding chair in the playoffs, but others have called you the folding chair in the Super Bowl. Respond is how it's worded. So
is that from Meats? Like, I don't.
I'm just reading this off is all. So I can't.
I mean, yeah, sure, definitely. The second half there was quite a bit of fold, but I think a lot of people forget that I took that game to double overtime.
Yes.
That wasn't exactly like I came out and got blown out, like the OG folding chair did in his Super Bowl. So, I don't know if you can quite call me the folding chair from that perspective. I had a lead, forced a good game, double OT. Mm-hmm. It was a classic,
Yes, no, that's good. And there's some rumors, or there's some nicknames going around you're called SML Sir Cuddle a lot, the Care Bear. What's your thoughts on all these people calling you soft?
I mean, I'll take it because, like, at the end of the day, it's because everybody calls me a nice guy. So, like, it's hard to, get mad at everybody calling you nice. Yes. It definitely hasn't helped the fake Thanos persona, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yes. It seems like it bothers you.
No.
Okay. Are you sure?
Definitely doesn't bother me.
Okay.
No, I think the only thing is, like, I don't mind being called soft, whatever. That's fine. I'll be nice. I'm cool with it. Once there's some people who think they can play with you that I know they really can't, then it's like, okay, like you can chill.
Yeah. And who's that? Who plays with you that shouldn't?
He's kind of stopped. I will say that Fig started it, and that kind of pissed me off in seasons
Okay.
1 and 2.
Okay.
There was a lot of comments after games where it was like, I can play with anybody in this league, you know.
I
can
remember
beat
those.
Fazz.
I
And it was like,
remember those.
dog.
I think I gave
Come on
him
now.
some false confidence because he beat me in season 1, and I'll never forget that. Do you think? And there's been some people, and I was one of these critics. I'll admit it. Dan was another one. They say you didn't have the competitive drive to win a Super Bowl. Do you feel that you have the competitive drive needed to win a big game?
Yeah, I mean, Dan will tell you I was knocking him out of the playoffs on Madden 20.
Interesting.
So, you know, it's there, it exists. You know, again, this is not my best Madden. But with that said, for it to not be my best Madden and to still have, you know, I've been to a Super Bowl, I could have still won it.
Yes.
Didn't, but could have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that still exists. I still definitely have that.
So if you go this whole cycle without winning a championship in the SML, is it a disappointment?
It would be. Yeah, it would be. You know, again, not my best one, but with that said, I still feel like I should win one.
Okay.
So
you know. So let's say the SML is a cafeteria, and you walk in, and you know how each cafeteria has their little group in high school, like their little groups, and you look, and there's the bushwhackers out, and they got their Letterman jackets on, and they just won the state football championship, and they got all the babes. There's Bomber, there's Dan probably passing out Bibles, and then you look, and there's the clique. And they're circled up in the corner. Everybody knows them. They're arguing over why a stop sign should be a triangle instead of an octagon or something. And then here's the Thanos Club. What does the Thanos Club stand for? And what's your goal with the Thanos Club?
So first off, I don't know where you come up with these analogies, but they're great.
Yes, that's all I've done at work today. So
I'm impressed. I like it. So the Thanos Club originated because there was this Bushwhackers, and it really started. It was AFC versus NFC, because we were just getting dogged every single podcast. You know, every show. You open up chat, and you know somebody's just like, "Wow, the NFC sucks today," and we're like, "Dude," like. So that's what started the Thanos Club. It was more like, let me, you know, gather up some guys that I think can make a push, make the NFC interesting, because that was another thing. It was the NFC was boring. And then, you know, Dookie came in, and that was just the polar opposite. So I needed something that wasn't as toxic as Dookie, but could make the NFC interesting. So it was like, well, you know, I'll step up, I'll do it because, you know, yes, I can at least win. I know that. Yes. And I'll talk more than often. You know, you grab Rowe because he's just a firecracker. Yeah. Q came in and he started hot. So it was like, all right, cool. Like this dude looks like a killer. Like let's grab him. And then, you know, I got Clink because Clink's kind of my understudy. That hasn't worked out yet.
Yes.
But you know, his potential's there. Maybe we'll see.
And
so it was more AFC versus NFC is the inspiration.
I see. No, that's good. That's good. And your relationship with Bomber, what's that like?
Say it again.
Your relationship with Bomber, Mad Bomber. You guys got a show together. What's your relationship like with Mad Bomber?
Bomber's dope. He's the man. I like Bomber a lot. You know, he's a guy. I think he's in the DMs of everybody. Yeah. But yeah, he was in the DMs early. We, you know, talked about some things, some strategy here and there. I wanted to start doing a show for SML, and that's kind of where like Heat Check originated. And I wanted to do like the AFC NFC host kind of thing. That way, one person could rank the AFC, one person the NFC. So I was thinking about who it would be. Bomber asked me about, I think at the time he was still doing his like little Scott Van Pelt Sports Center show.
Oh yeah.
So I think it was, we were talking about that, and he's like, yeah, I haven't gotten too much interest. And I was like, oh, like, you know, I've had this idea. Would you want to jump on and do it? And I think the Scott Van Pelt show turned into Heat Check, basically.
And what's it like working behind the scenes with Bomber? A lot of people see him as this like perfectionist, and you got to arrive on time, and all this crazy stuff. What's that like?
Oh, he's definitely a stickler with time. I think I broke him because I mess it up every week. so you know, that you know, can maybe drive a divide in there, but you know, he's been a good sport. He's always willing to razz me about it and rip me up about it on the show. But he's been easy. I couldn't ask for more in a partner.
Wow, there you go. And here's a question from a fan. My final fan question, actually, as we're winding down on this show. Ask Fazz why he hasn't disagreed with Bomber's opinion once on Heat Check.
That sounds like it's from Grams. I feel like I have disagreed with his opinion. I'm not sure I could give you a specific on what, but I feel like we have. Okay. I think most of the time, though, we just end up kind of like talking through it in a way. Like I don't know. It doesn't end up being like a disagreement. I feel like we've never debated. It's not, Skip and Shannon.
Yeah. What's your opinion? This is the elephant in the room. What's your opinion on the whole sim gate, advanced gate? Fazz goes on a skiing trip, almost dies. What all happened? What went through your mind, and what's your opinion on how that all shook out?
So I was fully prepared for the first game to be simmed because I knew, as the trip was approaching and I'm looking at the advanced schedules, I'm like, oh shoot, like this could not possibly be a worse time. And like any other vacation, I would just bring my PlayStation.
Yes.
But like the connection there is so bad. And on top of that, they have like weird, like security stuff. So like the way you get into their Wi-Fi, it like kicks you out. So like you'll be in like the middle of a game and they'll just like boot you and like make you re-sign in. So like I knew that I didn't want to force playing a playoff game and we're restarting 3 times or I can't kick the ball. I was like, I'm not even gonna bother with that. It's not gonna be worth it. So I knew the first game would get simmed. And then of course I figured, well, I'm gonna be out because nobody's losing to the AI in the playoffs. Like it's just not gonna happen. And so I'm on the chairlift going up and like I pull up my phone or whatever and Clink's texting me and he's like, dude, your AI is gonna win. Like they're gonna win the game. And I'm like, no way.
Yes.
So sure enough, I check it and I get in group me and the advanced thing comes and it says that I won. And I'm like, wow, like I'm still in it. I got a shot. Like I can, and I was feeling good. Like I liked my team that season. I was pretty hot at the end of last season. So, I was feeling good about, another chance at a run. And so I looked at the advanced schedule and I think it said like you were going to advance like Friday. I was like, dude, like we can hold this one day for a better playoff. One day.
Yeah.
And then I come in and Paulie's like, oh, I've got a headache and I can't see straight and I don't know what my own name is, but I'm going to rush my game and play tonight for the SML. And I'm like, no, like, what are you doing?
Yeah. That was the weird thing. Paulie, and I want to make that clear because I did not tell Paulie. I was actually for Paulie in private, like, dude, well, first of all, you're sick. and if you win, then I don't have to play Bomber, so if you, so by all means, get well soon. And then I don't have to deal with Fazz getting mad at me. So honestly, Paulie's COVID death scare just made me elated. But it didn't work out that way. So how mad were you when I was like, hey, no, we're sticking to advance Friday? Were you pretty upset?
Oh yeah, I was livid.
Yeah.
I was
are you over that or no?
Yeah, I'm over it at this point.
At this point, so
it's bad, but no, it hurt. It was bad.
Yeah.
Like I didn't like delete group me, but I also didn't open the rest of the trip because I was like,
I know, because
I'm not gonna have one nice thing to say.
Yeah.
Like
I noticed you were keeping your distance.
Yeah, I wanted nothing to do with it for a few days there.
So there's some people that say Fazz should have brought his PlayStation just to try it, but you're saying it wouldn't have worked. it, and that's why you didn't bring it.
Yeah, so like this trip, I've been going to the same place for 20 years now. So this was our 20th year at that, that same resort. So like at this point, we kind of know our limitations.
Yeah, no, that's good.
So like we've brought PlayStations and Xboxes, but like that it's useless.
Yeah.
They can't connect. I could play my brother, but there's no shot I was going to get online to play a game for that.
Yeah, no, okay. So I got a few, like about 2 or 3 final questions here. Your relationship with Clink, what's that about?
We went to high school together.
Oh.
So yeah, we went to high school together. Cheated on homework together, tests, all that. Sat in the back of history class. He's a big sports guy, so we clicked pretty immediately.
Click.
Click. Not like that, but
Okay.
Yeah. So we hit it off. We've stayed friends ever since. we play a lot of fantasy sports together. And then last year, I don't even remember how. I think he bought Madden for the first time in forever, and I was like, "You should join our online franchise because it's a lot of fun. I think you'd enjoy it." So he joined. I don't think we had a spot in Dan's league at the time, so I just like joined a rando league with him. League wasn't good at all, but he got hooked, and then before I knew it, he was in like 7 Madden 20 leagues.
Oh cow!
Yeah, he took off.
He got like a drug.
Yes, it was unbelievable. That man got hooked. He was playing 2-3 games a day, like 5 days a week.
Dude,
it was a lot of Madden.
Was he good?
Yeah, he was pretty solid last year. Towards obviously he started horrendous. First online franchises, he was so bad, but he stuck with it, and he started to figure it out, and he was a lot better last year than he has been this season.
Yeah. Well, down to my final 2 questions. You mentioned it, so I got to bring it up. What's your thoughts on the clique?
Thoughts on the clique? I'm going to be 100% dead honest with you. I still don't know who they all are. I know Mike's in there.
Mm-hmm.
NYT.
Yes. Grams. Coop. Yes. And then they have their allegiances to like RD and Dan. So it's deep rooted. So
it seems to be pretty big.
Yes. It's pretty big. It's got a large footprint.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, they don't seem to really do much, I guess, is the way to, I never really see anything. Like, I mean, at least with, my Thanos boys, we all jump in the chat. We make a big deal out of it during everybody's streams. And, Rose got like the Cull Obsidian avatar.
Yeah.
The clique seems to be pretty low key.
Yeah.
I guess that's what you'll get with a group with Coop in it. Like, Coop doesn't seem to be.
You got to think like guy. You ever hear like the Illuminati and these like shadow government organizations? They operate in silence, but those are the ones that do the most damage. Always remember that.
That's the clique. That's the clique.
Pretty much. They're the Illuminati. I might rename them actually. So
I'll make sure to stay friendly with all of them.
Yeah, you might want to. So final question. Who's going to be in this season's Super Bowl? And I guess the follow-up is, when will you win a Super Bowl?
This season's Super Bowl, I do feel like we're going to get somebody different out of the AFC. I've been hyping you up for a few seasons on Heat Check, which is probably why you haven't made it.
Yeah, I guess not.
So maybe to be kind to the show host here, I'll say Bomber. I
was getting ready to lick my eyebrows.
I don't want to curse. I don't know if the curse of Heat Check, but
yes,
I want to make sure to be safe, play it simple. Yes. I do think one of you or Bomber will make it this season. Nice. I think this is your time, no Von Miller, which gives you just a little bit of enough time on defense, or when Dan's on defense, that you can move the ball a little better. NFC, obviously, we're wide open. I'm going to pick myself for sure. Wow. I still feel good. Defense hasn't been as good this season. Waiting to get a little more pressure. Picks have been light, but I do feel good on offense right now. So, I'll stick with myself.
Who would you rather face in the Super Bowl, myself or Bomber?
That's a tough one. I haven't lost to you yet, which means I'm not sure I want to continue to push that luck. But also I feel like the best narrative is beating, the SML GOAT in the Super Bowl. So I'll say you.
Nice. And Bomber's going to be ready. He's going to be prepared for you more than I'll ever be prepared.
Yes. Watching the film, he'll be calling out my plays in the chat. He'll probably be, commentating the game and playing at the same time.
Yeah, that would be a first. That'd be a first for sure. Yeah. I could imagine Bomber staying up late for a Super Bowl preparation. But hey, man, we're at 28 minutes on this show. It's a pleasure having you on and being grilled and answering what the members wanted to know. So the mic is yours now. Feel free to make a statement, or if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, Fazz, the mic is now yours.
I think I've mostly aired the questions, concerns, and comments. I never hold those back in chat, so I don't really need a platform. But I mean, it's been a great time. I've really enjoyed this league. It's been a blast ever since joining Primer late last cycle. Enjoyed my time here. It's, great group of dudes. You can call me soft as often as you want. Whatever. I'll be a nice guy because I think you're all chill. So Thanks for having me.
No, Fazz, we appreciate you. Thanks for all you do. And hey, thanks for still staying here after I advanced on your playoff game. I know that's not always fun. So, all right, guys, that was SML.
Hopefully we don't do it again.
Yeah, we'll try to avoid it, but no promises. That was SML, the Sit Down. He's Fazz, I'm Prime, and this was the Sim Madden League. You guys have a great night.